Hello, my name is Taisha. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2024, and I'm about to administer my 41st injection of Zepbound. All right, so I'm gonna get it out of the fridge, wash my hands, and then I'll be back to chat with you. New box. Okay, so last week I did the left side, today I'll be doing the right side. This entire time I've just been alternating between the left and the right side. I have not tried any other injection sites. I don't plan on it, at least right now. So I'm gonna get the alcohol prep pad. And today we're doing the right. These come locked and there's a cap. Remove the cap, apply to the area, then I unlock it. You're gonna hear a series of 2 clicks. The first one is the medication. It lets you know it's going in. The second one, you know it's done, and I still wait a few seconds. So here we go. And there's a second one. And it's so weird because I don't feel anything, so I'm thankful for that. All right. Then I remove it from the area, put the cap back on. Sometimes there's a little bit of blood, sometimes there isn't. Let's see what we have today. Just a tiny bit. And just like that, the injection's over. But before we get to the update, I'll let you know that, so this was the 41st injection. The first 4 weeks, I was on 2.5 milligrams, and the rest of the time I've been on 5. My plan, I'm in maintenance, is to continue on 5 indefinitely. I have not had any injection site reactions. I have not had any side effects. I don't plan on going down or anything like that. I'm trying to address questions that I get pretty frequently. The 5 milligram has been perfect for me, and that is the plan. As of right now, it is to continue on 5. And as far as weight, my starting weight was 183 pounds, and I weighed in this morning at 128. So I lost a pound from last week. You know, things can fluctuate. It happens. I'm not too concerned. And yeah, I'll be back for the rest of the update. So I'm down 55 pounds, and now I'll tell you what I've been doing. We're into 41 weeks, and 39 of those weeks I've been consistently strength training, and that's just my preferred form of movement. There was a time period in the summertime from June until the first week of August where I was walking for an hour a day, 6 days a week. Every morning I would get up and go walking. On mornings where I couldn't or something was going on, the walk would be done later in the day, but I was getting an hour consistently 6 days a week. And then I got to a point where I just didn't feel like it anymore, and so I stopped. But what I did continue doing was the strength training. The program that I'm currently doing is called The Compound, and it's by the YouTuber Lift with C. I started off with The Compound, then I worked off of her playlist of 20-minute workouts, and there were 30 of them. So 30 of those, 5 days a week with 6 weeks. And once I finished, I jumped right back into The Compound. So yesterday I finished up day 6 of week 2, and I really enjoy that program. It's definitely challenging. I'm finding myself sore, but what I like about it is we have specific areas that we work on. So Monday is an upper body day, which is my favorite. Tuesday, lower body. Wednesday, ab day. Thursday, upper body. Friday, lower body. And Saturday, ab day. And the ab days are only 10 minutes. And I'm glad they're not I'm glad they're not longer than 10 minutes because that's quite enough, plenty enough. Now for my Instagram, that is the whole reason I created that account. I've got essentially 39 weeks of sped up versions of the videos on there. It's just a visual diary. I've just recently started adding, since I started The Compound, adding the exercises and actually putting in the weights and the reps that I use, just because those are questions that I get asked. And it's good to keep track of that stuff, and that lets me know how I'm progressing. I eat a whole food plant-based diet, and that's just because I enjoy eating that way. There was a short time in my life a few years ago where I ate that way, And I wasn't planning on eating like that for the rest of my life. It was basically like everything else. The goal was to do it until I got to a certain point, and I did that. And then I started incorporating, a bunch of junk food and highly processed foods and things like that. And, ended up gaining back 50 something of the 84 pounds I lost. So this time when I went into this, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Whatever I do today is what I plan on doing. So this doesn't mean that I can't make little modifications and tailor things, but I plan to eat a whole food plant-based diet for the rest of my life. And it's because I want to. So it's not even where like how I did things before with this end goal in mind. The end goal is a life of consistency. To be successful, I feel like consistency is so important. And I hear frequently a lot of people, complaining about not losing weight fast enough or, having these extreme goals. And if that works for you, then by all means continue. But that never worked for me. And it's very easy to get burnt out. It's very easy to take on too much because in that moment, you think that that goal of this magic number for your weight is going to be enough to sustain you. But during those times, and this may not be you, I ask for you to just be open-minded. Has that served you well in the past? If you've lost weight before and you did all these extreme things, did you keep it off? Because if not, this may be the time to take that opportunity to just approach it in a different way. And you don't have to count calories. I do that so that I make sure that I'm eating enough. It's more of me making sure I'm eating enough than trying to hold myself to some restriction. I shoot for 1,800 calories. Sometimes I go a little bit over, sometimes I go a little bit under, but my main reason for doing it is just to make sure that I'm getting the right things. And then plus, during those times where you feel like the scale is not moving, if you're someone who stays focused on that and you're, discouraged, if you know for a fact that, I'm getting an adequate amount of calories a day, I'm working out, you're not going to really be so, I don't want to say bent out of shape, so hyper focused on that number because eventually things will move. And that's another reason why I'm a big proponent of using other methods other than the number on the scale to track your progress, because things can be going on behind the scenes. And I feel like a broken record because I say this a lot. There are things going on that you may not necessarily see by just standing on the scale. So if you're someone who gets discouraged by the scale, you're making that choice every day to get on it. If it doesn't help you, if it's not motivating, I would say then stop getting on it or cut down on the frequency. Do you know what I mean? And I had to do the same thing. I was someone who was getting on the scale multiple times a day. Every time I went into the bathroom, honestly, I got on the scale, which is kind of extreme, but I did some extreme things. So I moved the scale upstairs and now I get on it periodically once a week, sometimes twice, and that's really just to do the updates. But I don't really want to keep focusing on that number because, again, I'm not actively trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to maintain, build some muscle, and lose some fat. I just want you to know that I understand. I understand how it feels to feel like you're doing everything right. And then there's times where we may say we're doing things right, but deep down we know we're not really doing that. Right? My goal is to continue to share my experience with you in hopes that it's a motivating thing. I want to show you that consistency does work. And it's not about doing too much, being extreme, just simple things. My workouts, most of the time, other than one day a week, are under 30 minutes. They're doable. I have a walking pad, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't consistently been using it, and I just haven't had the desire to do it. So it's not even a motivation thing. It's just, I'm just not interested in it. And I'm sure that it'll come in waves. There'll be times where I'll want to do it, and there are going to be times where I'm just not interested in it. my thing that I hold on to is the strength training. That is why I always say, find something that you enjoy doing, no matter what it is. If you do a bunch of extreme things to get to your goal weight, you're gonna have to think about what you're doing when you get to maintenance, right? So if you're working out, multiple times a day, or you're spending hours doing that, do you plan on doing that for the rest of your life? Because if not, don't do it now. There really has to be a mindset shift. It's not always what someone wants to hear when they're starting any type of experience. You want to know the quickest way to get there, and that's not always the best way. I just want you to be mindful. Be real with yourself. You know how you eat. You know if you're drinking enough water. You know these things better than anybody else. And so I can't tell you how you should be eating or what to do. I'm not qualified. All I can do is share my experience with you. I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to keep going. And even if you feel like you're not seeing the progress that you want, then you have to sit down and assess what you're doing and see what needs to be changed. And do things for a while. Don't do it for a week or 2 weeks and then, oh, this is not working, and just keep switching it up. Spend some time doing something. So find something, make a plan, and stick with it. Then you assess after a certain amount of time and you decide, okay, this is working for me, this isn't. Or maybe you start off by, something like adding an extra glass of water, just one a day. 1 glass of water extra. So substituting, if you're a soda drinker, substitute 1 soda for some water. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. Those are the type of modifications that are the gradual. Do things gradually. It'll be a lot easier to incorporate a new habit. So the goal of tomorrow's live will be to help you with tools to reframe negative thoughts and take meaningful steps towards your goals. So the goal of this program is slow and steady, sustainable change. We don't go over quick fixes or extreme things. So if that's what you're looking for, then this wouldn't be the program for you. But if you're interested in learning how to make these mindset shifts over time so that you can be more consistent, so that you can set realistic, reasonable goals, so that you can work on reframing old patterns, then definitely join us. I wanted to let you know that there's going to be a little more structure with these lives. So we start on time at 7 o'clock. And my goal is to not, for us to be on about 45 minutes. I think 45 minutes is more than enough time. It'll take about 10 minutes to cover the lesson, and then we can get into any questions, celebrating wins, maybe doing a plan, some goal setting, for the week on what we're gonna work on and what's been going well. And maybe if you're struggling, that's a time where we can all kind of collaborate and figure out ways to help each other. I always want there to be some value and you to leave the live with something. And so 45 minutes is the goal, not going longer than that. And I would love to see you there. And that is my update for week 41. And I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.